Today's episode of Darkness Radio is brought to you by America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh. With the cost of groceries going up and down, now is a perfect time to get started with HelloFresh. HelloFresh is cheaper than grocery shopping and 25% less expensive than takeout. Go to HelloFresh.com/darkness60 and use code darkness60 for 60% off plus free shipping. Try America's #1 meal kit, HelloFresh, today. Welcome in. It's a Wednesday. That means it's Supernatural News right here on Darkness Radio. I'm your host, Tim Dennis, and with me is a very special co-hostess. The co-hostess with the mostest. We call her Mallie Fox. Mallie, of course we do. Otherwise, what else would we call her? We wouldn't call her... We wouldn't call her Mal of the North or anything like that. Mallie, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
God, that is the most messed up introduction I think I've ever done over a decade and a half, I think, or more that I've known you. Good to hear your voice, darling.
Oh, it's good to talk to you again.
Yes. Thank you very much for joining us yesterday for Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals, and good to have you here on the show today. Boy, have we got a jam-packed show today. Today on the show, folks, a new unusual structure on the moon. We also have a new chamber in the, believe it or not, in the Great Pyramid of Giza that's been discovered. We'll talk about that. Why you may or may not be seeing ghosts when you experience sleep paralysis. That little line in your hand, Mallie, that may be broken off.
Yeah.
May or may not be a symbol that you've had a near-death experience. We'll tell you why an American scientist has discovered that, and he'll tell you why exactly it may or may not be a near-death experience or a symbol of that. And dinosaur chickens. I know. I just stopped you in your tracks with that.
I was thinking of dinosaur nuggets.
Yeah, I know.
That kids eat. That's why I was think for a sec.
Yeah, but I'm talking actual dinosaur chickens.
Okay.
Scientists have gone too far, Mallie.
Okay.
So we'll talk about that this week as well.
Perfect.
Yes. So scientists have evidently not watched Jurassic Park. We'll talk about why scientists have way too much time on their hands. That's coming up today on Supernatural News. But first, want to talk about all the rage in the paranormal field right now, and it has nothing to do with investigating. Yeah, unfortunately, we got to spill that tea, girl. We got to get into rumor and innuendo, and we'll try to keep it as short as we can. Unfortunately, that has to do with a bunch of friends of ours. And we'll try to tiptoe as lightly through the tulips as we can here. Unfortunately, there's some shakeups going on over at Discovery Plus when it comes to paranormal programming. Now, from what we hear, this isn't anything official, but from what we hear, when the merger happened with HBO Max and with Discovery Plus, when Warner Brothers took over, they were talking about they had billions of dollars to get off the books. Now, part of that was you heard things like the Batgirl movie wasn't released because they could shelve it and they could get a tax break.
Okay.
Things like that. There were whispers and rambles and things going on even at last year's Michigan Paracon that a lot of the paranormal shows that were out there may not be renewed. And again, this was whispers. This was just rumors that a lot of your favorite paranormal shows may or may not be back. And that was because it was well known that billions, again, kids, billions of dollars had to be taken off the books. And although paranormal TV does relatively well in cable ratings, it doesn't do hard, fast ratings. I want you to keep that in mind. When a cable series does a 1, it's doing all right as far as overall ratings. Now, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, those shows are pretty good staples. They do 1s. They do, they do a million viewers. And those are looked at as staples. So those are good shows, and those are shows that get renewed season after season after season. Anything under that, well, you're on shaky ground. Would you agree with that, Mallie?
Oh no, yeah, totally.
Okay. So and you've got stars that will always get attention. You've got stars like Jack Osborne that will always get attention because of the name and the worldwide recognition that his family and he have gotten for years. So those stars will draw attention to the network. They will get a spot as well. And guys like Josh Gates, he draws viewers as well. So you've got your upper echelon, and then you've got kind of a mid-tier and then a lower tier of paranormal programming. Well, everybody above your meat and potatoes is pretty much fair game right now in a restructuring over there at Warner. And
because it's nothing personal.
No, it's business. It's bottom line. This is a ledger thing.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We all have our favorite paranormal programs.
Yes.
And we all want to see them survive. We all want to see them on the Discovery Plus service. I think we all enjoy the Discovery Plus service. I know I do. Mm-hmm. I enjoy all the different programs that are on there, not just paranormal, but I enjoy a lot of the stuff they have on there, especially for true crime. The ID channel is amazing.
Oh, I love that channel.
Yeah, they have some amazing programming over there. But unfortunately, budget cuts are coming. They're coming everywhere. In fact, SiriusXM this week laid off 475 people?
Wow.
Something like that. Yeah. And one of my friends, Gabby Laspisa, who's the producer or one of the producers of Busted Open Radio, got laid off. So no one in this day and age, folks, is immune from layoffs. So where am I going with this long intro? Where I'm going is this. The rumor got out quickly, and it came right from the horse's mouth, so it's not a rumor, that Destination Fear may or may not be renewed. They haven't gotten the word yet as to whether they will be renewed. Now, that's the official word, that they're kind of in a holding pattern. Dakota Layden, Chelsea Layden, Tanner, and Alex have all started a movement to renew Destination Fear. They started a t-shirt campaign. They started a campaign to get everybody motivated to renew Destination Fear. Good, healthy campaign.
Right.
And I would suggest to people, and I would encourage people, get out there and get a hold of Discovery and Warner and tell them you want Destination Fear back on the air. You want them back on Discovery Plus. You want that show to be renewed. Mm-hmm. That's the proper channel and the proper way to go about it.
Yes. Okay. Totally agree.
Yep. That's the way that shows get renewed, and that's the way that shows stay with Discovery Plus and with HBO and with Warner. Now, Dakota went on, this is about, as we're taping this on Tuesday, you'll hear this on Wednesday. 3 days ago, Dakota went on social media, and he put out a message. I love Dakota to death. Love him like a play cousin.
And you've had him on.
Yeah, I've had him and the group on many times. They're so generous to this show.
Plus, it helps that they're from Minnesota.
yes, and they're one of us. That's the thing. Yes. They're one of us, which you got to love him for that too. And he loves the Minnesota Wild. Love him for that too. Loves hockey. But I think his message came off a little sideways. I won't play that message for you now, Mallie.
Okay.
And then we'll go over it. We'll review it a little bit, and then we'll tell you what happened right after he posted this message, and why it has the internet in a tizzy. Okay. So here's that message now.
Okay, guys, I got to make this quick. First of all, you're amazing. You guys, the love, the support this week has been unreal. And clearly that message is going far because I just got a phone call and I have to publicly address this now. Here we go. Did Zach Bagans shut down Destination Fear? No, he didn't. Did Zach Bagans call the network and say, shut it down? No, he didn't. Right now, we don't even know if Destination Fear is canceled or renewed. I will say it's not looking good. But I have to tell you guys, in this industry, these decisions are business. This is a business decision and has nothing to do with anyone's ego or whatever. However, does that mean that Zach and me are friends and that he's been supporting the show and everything has been chipper and great? No, it doesn't. And I have a lot to say and more to come on that front.
Okay. There's some issues there. There's some problems there. First of all, again, Dakota, I love you, brother. I love you more than you know. It's okay to update your viewer base and let them know where you're at, as far as renewing the show. And don't bring your personal stuff to it. Don't, if there's issues between you and Zach, keep it behind closed doors. Don't tell us about it. That's
Paranormal field is a very small community.
Yeah.
Can't burn bridges.
No.
And he said, Zach had nothing to do with his show not being renewed. If it's not, that should have ended it there.
Yes, that's fine to tell everybody. Tell everybody that and dispel that rumor. Get it out of the way. End of story. End of story. But we don't need to know what your status is with Zach. We don't need to know that you two aren't getting along. We don't need to know anything about that. That's nobody's business but you and Zach.
Two sides to every story.
That's right.
I love them both.
Yep.
So I'm being neutral. I'm not harping on one or the other.
Same here.
This is the 51 years of experience.
That's right.
Let Aunt Mallie and Uncle Tim.
That's right. Let us educate you a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah. Nobody wins in that battle. And I'll tell you, because there's a lot of people out there that watch you both.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people out there that love you both. And when you want people to support you, they'll come out and they'll support you. But the minute you have to ask somebody to choose in that battle, nobody wins. So don't make them choose. That's just one facet of it. The other part of it is you're going to, and pardon the language, you're going to stir the shit and you're going to have people come around just to watch the shit stirred and they don't care about anything else.
Yeah, they like the drama.
Yeah, and that's it. And they'll come around for the drama and then they'll leave. And they're not the ones who truly want to love and care about the four of you and want to see the show renewed. They're not going to get behind your effort to renew the show. They're just going to come around to see what kind of drama is stirred up. And then they're going to get their popcorn, they're going to sit down, they're going to watch the drama, and then they're going to leave. And they're going to escalate that drama online. They're going to escalate it to some trolls who are going to try to get more drama stirred up. And this thing between you and Zach is going to get out of control. And it's going to go to a point where maybe it can't be mended in the future. And you never know business-wise when the two of you are going to need each other again. And like Auntie Mallie said, it's a small world in the paranormal world, a very small world. So don't go there. Just don't go there. It's probably the safest place to be is to be Switzerland, be neutral.
Plus, I feel like people jump on the bandwagon and create this hate campaign against the other person.
Yes.
And it just becomes ugly.
Yes, you're right. You're very right, Mallie. Now, interestingly enough, the next day, or not even the next day, a few short hours later, Nick Groff, who used to be on who's a good friend of ours as well, said, "Well, I'll be answering questions as well," and put a post up, which, interestingly enough, a lot of people started firing off different questions involving what happened. What happened to you? Why are you off of Ghost Adventures? What is your story? And immediately they wanted him to spill the tea. Discretion is the better part of valor, and I applaud Nick for that. He didn't answer any of those questions. So
that's good.
Yeah. Again, sometimes silence is the best part of it all. Sometimes you just need to be professional and not feed into it. And you know what, folks? Again, I'll say it to all y'all. Sometimes it's just none of your business. Sometimes you just don't need to know, and sometimes it's not that interesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And it's a sticky situation when you have friendships and business involved.
Yeah. Ask yourself this. When you're sitting on the outside looking in, ask yourself this question. What does it matter to me? How is it going to change my life if I know or not?
Yeah.
You know, do I really need to know? Is this going to help me? Is this going to help me continue to follow this product if I know the real story? You know, do I need to know this in order to continue enjoying this product? And if it does, well, then really, did you really enjoy that product to begin with?
Yeah.
You know, did you?
Because I would just hate to have anyone have regrets.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people say things out of the heat of the moment. And then when things cool down, you're like, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is just, I think, us looking out for and wanting to look out for the destination fear people, and also really wanting to look out for the Ghost Adventures people. We've known both parties for quite a while, for a long time.
Yes.
And you hate to see it when friends fight. You really do. And you hate to see it when it becomes public. You don't, you know, that's messy. It's just not necessary because, again, people love drama. That's America in 2023, Mallie.
Yeah.
Love drama, love to bring it out in public, love to exploit it, but then they don't love to see the healing process either. You know, that's the other part of it. So we'll leave it at that. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's get on with today's actual supernatural news stories. We'll start with an unusual structure discovered by a ufologist on the moon, Mal.
Ooh, I wonder if it's near my property.
You know what? I thought about that as I put this story together. I thought they better not be building near Mallie's property.
I know. I'm going to have to start charging rent.
Or squatters' rights. You know, if they put out squatters' rights, what are you going to do?
I'm screwed because I don't want to go out to space.
Yeah,
I'm not one of those people that's going to volunteer to go on a shuttle.
You're going to have to call up Elon Musk and, get one of his rockets and go up there. Or Richard Branson. Who would have the better rocket if you had to choose?
I would think Branson.
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be fancier.
Yeah, the champagne service. And
yeah.
Yeah, on the way up there. Well-known ufologist and virtually Scott Waring's in Taiwan. It must be a good life for him. I'm just saying. Spoken his blog about an unusual find from the surface of the moon. The unusual structure is located next to a large crater, which prompted the researcher to think about its artificial origin. Waring believes it could be a mine to extract rare and useful elements from the impact zone. According to him, only highly developed civilizations could do this, since humanity is still just learning to send moon rovers crawling over the surface and taking photographs. Ufologist draws attention to the area to the right of the mysterious structure. In his opinion, NASA allegedly recorded all such structures, but carefully hides them on the lunar map so that researchers do not have unnecessary questions. So in other words, NASA doesn't like your petty questions.
Like, move along.
Yep, move along. We're not answering that one. Interestingly enough, he did have a couple of, well, there's a video here on it, but there's a picture as well. I'm just going to show Mallie because the rest of you don't deserve to see it, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's what he's claiming is the structure. It just looks like a hole in the moon.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I don't know that he's got much there, but actually it looks like the Death Star. I'm not going to lie. That's no moon. It's
pretty soon you're going to see a McDonald's pop up there, the Golden Arches.
Yeah. It's just alien wanting cheeseburgers. That's all. Yeah. You want cheeseburgers. Speaking of aliens and building stuff on the moon, Steven Spielberg finally is commenting on UFOs and cover-ups. You know, the guy who supposedly was in on the whole deal and wrote Close Encounters and E.T. to soften us up, Mallie, for disclosure. This is supposedly the guy who's been working with the government the entire time, is now coming out and talking about what he thinks about ETs. The legendary director recently expressed his enthusiasm for the topic during an interview with Stephen Colbert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Steven Spielberg is certainly no a stranger to making movies about aliens. By the way, there's a clip on this, which is really funny because Colbert actually pitches E.T. to and hands him an actual script.
Oh.
and Spielberg thinks it's a fake script, and he actually opens it up and goes, "Hey, there's actual words in here," which is kind of funny. Steven Spielberg is certainly no stranger to making movies about aliens, given that some of his most famous and beloved films include 1977's Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1982's E.T. the Extraterrestrial, and 2005's War of the Worlds remake. I think I forced that one out of my head.
I liked it. I thought it wasn't bad.
Did you? I kind of shrink a little bit when I think of that one, to be honest with you. It certainly wouldn't be a stretch to assume that the 76-year-old, he's 76 already.
Wow.
Time is going too fast. The 76-year-old has at least a passing interest in the subject himself, and that this is something he touched upon during a recent appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. In particular, he commented on the fact that a lot of information about the topic was being covered up by the government. I think the secrecy that is shrouding all of these sightings and the lack of transparency until the Freedom of Information Act compels certain materials to be released publicly, I think that there is something going on that simply needs extraordinary due diligence, he said. He also remarked upon the recent release of U.S. Navy footage of UAPs and the revelation that more than 100 sightings investigated by the Pentagon's UFO office did not have an explanation. He said, "I think what has been coming out recently is fascinating, just absolutely fascinating. I would like to hear more about it. I don't know what they are," Spielberg went on to say. Do you buy it, Mallie? Do you think that he doesn't know what it is? And that
I think he has an inkling.
Yeah? Do you think
he's just such a prominent figure?
Yeah?
I think he has a little bit more heads up than we would.
Do you think filmmakers have been in on it the entire time? Along with Hollywood's been in bed with the government and has been softening.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah?
Because I feel like lately things are just being released where you're like, really?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd also think that he'd be like one of the first ones to be abducted by aliens.
Come with us, Father.
Exactly. Yeah. They're giving him little notes on, okay, the next movie you make, you have to include this.
Throw this weapon in, because we now have reversed engineered it and we're using it.
What do you think?
I think Spielberg knows a lot more than people think. Mm-hmm. I think he's actually in on... I won't go so far as to say that the government has given him all of the information.
Right.
But I think he kind of knows where the bodies are buried, so to speak. I think the government has given him a few tours. Let's put it that way.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. And that he's in the know and knows enough that when he needs source material for some of these movies, let's just say he has certain officials on speed dial.
Could you imagine having that knowledge and not being able to share it?
I can, there are certain people I think that can hold their water. It takes a certain breed, a certain person who knows that, you know what, there's just certain things that people can't handle. Mm-hmm. I think just for the betterment of the country, I think people can't handle certain things. We like to think that we're stronger than we actually are. Mm-hmm. And I guess this gets down to disclosure. When it comes to disclosure, everybody says, "Oh yeah, no big deal. If aliens showed up tomorrow, we could handle it." No. If you take a look around the world at how much of a hot mess we really are,
right?
The different conflicts around the world, the fact that even inside this country, how divided we are. Mm-hmm. If an alien landed tomorrow, we wouldn't know whether to shoot, or jump in a foxhole. I mean, we wouldn't have any idea. And that's,
sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just going to finish it up by saying, and that's why those things are kept under wraps. But go ahead. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, recently with all those sightings where it was like day after day for like a week and people were seeing these objects in the sky. I mean, to be honest, I was a little bit nervous. I mean, it made me uneasy.
Well, and you saw the reaction of the government. All of a sudden it was, let's shoot anything that moves over the border.
Yep.
And you can't tell me that people weren't going, well, wait a minute, why are we all of a sudden shooting? You know, it went from, and the reaction of even, look at the reaction even of Congress.
Mm-hmm.
Congress went from, it was the hyperbole of, you know, I have to do something so my constituents back home think I'm doing something.
Right.
So you had certain congressmen standing up and going, well, we need to shoot whatever comes over the border. So now we're shooting down every weather balloon and kids balloon that's flying over the border, you know? So then it becomes irrational.
Yeah.
You know, rather than, okay, this is an actual spy balloon we're shooting down. Now we're shooting down weather balloons, and the old Super Bowl balloon from 2 years ago, I let go. Rest in peace, Cincinnati Bengals. You know, anything that was flying over the border, they were shooting.
Yeah.
You know, so no, we couldn't handle an alien invasion. We just proved it with, you put it brilliantly, Mallie, with the spy balloon thing. We just showed our cards. Mm-hmm. You know, and so that's, you know, you wrapped it up nicely by saying, you know, exactly what we would do. And I think it's just, you know, that's why people, the responsibility of that information is given to people who can handle it and can handle it responsibly. So there you go. Let's move on. A bright new comet is discovered zooming toward the sun and could outshine the stars next year. That's a bright comet. Mm-hmm. The newly discovered comet C2023A3, they really ought to come up with better names for these things.
I was just thinking that when you read it off.
Yeah. Is making a close approach around the sun for the first time in 80,000 years and might be as bright as a star in fall of 2024. That's a pretty bright comet. Newly discovered comet may appear as bright as a star in the night sky by fall of 2024. That comet again, C2023A3. Oh, it's got even a longer name on the back of it, Mallie. They're calling it Suchinsan Atlas.
Oh.
That's not a very good name either.
No.
Why not like Star Strafer or something like that, you know? I don't know. It was first noted by the Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System, or ATLAS, telescope project in South Africa on February 22nd. Astronomers at the Purple Mountain Observatory, I think that was named by Prince, in China, also discovered the comet independently on January 9th. So both observatories are cited in the comet's full name. Oh, okay, so Atlas is the other part of it. Skywatchers around the world have since observed it in new and old images, with the earliest detection found in images taken by a wide-field camera on a telescope at Palomar Observatory in California on December 12th of 2022. Currently, C2023A3 is between Saturn and Jupiter. It's traveling at a zippy 180,610 miles an hour.
Wow.
Let's see you try to get your Chevy Nova going that fast, Mallie.
Chevy Nova. Of all the cars you choose.
Well, you know. It's likely to make its closest approach to Earth on October 13th of 2024, so we still got to wait a year and a half for it. Astronomers estimate that the comet orbits the sun only once every 80,660 years. This trip around the comet will make its closest approach to the sun, known as perihelion, on September 28th of 2024. So there you go. Yep. Kind of a cool little note. And so look out for that bright little comet coming as close to Earth as it can in the fall of 2024. We go on to Egypt, Mallie, where a hidden corridor in the Great Pyramid of Giza is seen for the first time.
Okay.
See, even now, the Egyptians have secrets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 1,000 years later.
Yes, exactly. Egyptian antiquities officials say they have confirmed the existence of a hidden internal corridor above the main entrance of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Video from an endoscope showed the inside of the corridor, which is 9 meters or 30 feet long and 2.1 meters or 7 feet wide. The officials say it could have been created to redistribute the pyramid's weight around the entrance or another as yet undiscovered chamber. It was first detected in 2016 using an imaging technique called muography. All I can think of is that asteroid. More.
So if they discovered in 2016, why is it becoming news now?
It's a good question. Probably because it took them a while to learn the technique, I guess. They were taking their sweet time.
Leave it closed. That's all I say. We've got enough crap going on in this world.
Curses, right?
Yeah.
You're going into another chamber. You're opening up a whole nother curse.
Yep.
I don't know. A team of scientists from the Scan Pyramids Project were able to sense density changes inside the pyramid by analyzing how it was penetrated by muons or morons. You decide. Which are byproducts of cosmic rays, which are only partially absorbed by stone. Interesting. The non-invasive technique detected by an empty space behind the northern face of the Great Pyramid, about 7 meters above the main entrance, in an area where there is a stone chevron structure. That's kind of how they got a hold of it. Further tests were carried out with radar and ultrasound before a 6 millimeter wide endoscope was fed through a tiny joint in between the stones that make up the chevrons. I thought chevron was a gas station. I don't know. That shows you what I know. The footage from the camera was unveiled at a news conference beside the pyramid on Thursday. It showed an empty corridor with walls made out of roughly hewn stone blocks and a vaulted stone ceiling, in case you're thinking of moving in.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. More property for you to buy, Mallie.
There we go.
Yeah.
Add it to my collection.
That's right. The Great Pyramid is 146 meters high, which was built on the Giza Plateau during the 4th dynasty by the pharaoh Khufu, or is it Cheops or Cheops? I'm not good at my Egyptian pronunciation. Who reigned from around 2609 BC to 2584 BC. That's the first part of our program. When we come back, we're going to tell you why sleep paralysis. Listen to me. Why?
You have paralysis of the lips.
I do. I need a stiff drink. Why sleep paralysis makes you see ghosts. It's that I was trying to get to ghosts before I got to paralysis. Why sleep paralysis makes you see ghosts. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about a mortified woman who bought a portrait that discovered alarming ways that every person in that portrait died, Mallie.
Ooh.
Yeah, we got kind of a scary story coming up. We'll also tell you what it means if the lifeline on your palm is broken. It may not mean you had a near-death experience like some people think. Yeah. And we've got a not safe for work story involving a couple of things.
That's kind of vague.
I can't say it right now because it's not safe for work, but let's just say it was another archaeological dig and it had to do with the Romans.
Oh.
And that dig didn't involve a spade, but another long tool.
Gotcha.
If you know what I mean.
Romans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That coming up next. It's a Supernatural News Wednesday with Tim Dennis and Mallie Fox right here on Darkness Radio. Welcome back to the best in paranormal programming. This is Darkness Radio. I'm Tim Dennis. Right over there is the co-hostess with the mostest, Mallie Fox. Mallie, I wanted to catch up with you real quick.
Sure.
Find out what's going on in your world.
My brother and sister-in-law had a baby.
Did they? Congratulations.
A couple years ago. A couple days ago.
Couple days. Well, that's better than a couple years ago because that means they've been hiding the baby on you, and that would be a little alarming.
Yes, they had a baby boy.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
an auntie again.
An auntie again. Well, what's it? Can you say the baby's name or they put him in witness protection?
It's Colin with 2 L's, so that's Scottish. So Colin Avery.
Oh, very nice. Well,
yeah.
Welcome to the world, Colin. That's beautiful. That's nice to hear. Nice to hear.
And I looked up Avery and it means King of the Elves. And when I told my brother, I don't think he was pleased with that. I was happy. I was like, hey, did you know? And he was just like,
welcome to the world, King of the Elves. Yeah, I'm sure that didn't go over well with the brother. That's for sure.
Yeah.
King of the Elves.
I was pleased as punch.
Well, at least you didn't call him King of the Trolls. I mean, that could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been a little weird.
But other than that, just having fun and going antiquing. I've been doing that recently, collecting more weird stuff to, my collections, anything dead or creepy.
You're trying to collect more ghosts at the crib, aren't you?
Yeah. The crib is pretty full right now, but I started a new collection of memorial cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's kind of neat because they're really pretty.
Oh, interesting.
But just add in more stuff.
Huh. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Pretty happy.
Yeah, that sounds neat. That sounds good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Boy, have we got some interesting stories here on the back half of Supernatural News here today, Mallie. Do you suffer from sleep paralysis at all?
No, I don't. But Derek just had an episode like a couple months ago, and it was pretty freaky. But I haven't.
Did he feel like the actual sitting on the chest, or did he see anything when he had it?
He felt paralyzed, like he couldn't move, but he saw two Native Americans standing at the edge of their bed.
Really?
Right. Yeah. And our town is known for the Wyandotte Indians. So, I mean, yeah. Wow. Anyway, so he was pretty freaked out. So, yeah, he like described him to a T, down to like one guy had like a staff or a spear, and then he saw like a headdress. Like, yeah, he was pretty freaked out. Did
he dig into it any further? Did he talk to any psychics or anything?
No, he hasn't. I think it freaked him out more than he'd like to admit. So he hasn't really looked into it. But the town we live in, we've had a lot of stuff. We had the Native Americans. We had this, War of 1812. A lot of things happen in our town. We had, gangs, the Purple Gang, things like that. So it has quite the history.
The mattress company has a gang?
No, the Purple Gang. So
what is
they came out of Detroit.
Okay.
So yeah, there's a lot of murders in our town, territorial stuff. Yeah.
Huh. The Purple Gang, huh?
Yeah, Purple Gang.
And we're not talking about the Vikings playing the Lions. No.
Yeah, no. There was actually other gangs too, but one of them, the prominent one, was the Purple Gang.
Interesting.
And we still have a lot of relatives here, not relatives of mine, but a lot of descendants of the Purple Gang.
Huh. Interesting.
In town. Yeah.
I'm going to have to look that one up.
It's very interesting.
Huh. Well, let's see if we can get down to Derek's issue with the Wyandotte Indians, shall we? Don't know
if it's Wyandotte, but Wyandotte Indians, but he saw two Native Americans.
Well, let's see if we can figure out why these Native Americans were in his sleep paralysis episode. It says here, why sleep paralysis makes you see ghosts. This may be the scientific part of it, as this is an article from Time magazine. Imagine waking up in pitch darkness, paralyzed from head to toe. You try to scream, but you can't. Suddenly you realize there's a ghost with bloody fangs hovering over you.
Fangs?
Fangs, I guess.
Wow.
That's a little extreme. Before you know, the creature violently attacks you. Well, this sounds like something out of a horror movie. Experiences like this, called sleep paralysis, are quite common, as shown in research in more than 6 countries. Sleep paralysis, or paralysis upon falling asleep or awakening, affects about 1 in 5 people. If being paralyzed when waking up isn't chilling enough, some people worldwide encounter terrorizing bedroom intruders, ranging from magical witches and demons to blood-sucking vampires. These surreal sights can be best as described as a nightmare coming alive before your eyes. But when does sleep paralysis occur? And crucially, why does it come with these uncanny visions? Although the science behind these bodily paralysis is now understood, it has remained a mystery as to why you might see a ghost. Sleep paralysis occurs at the transition between wakefulness and rapid eye movement, or REM sleep. During this stage of sleep, you have a crisp, lifelike dream. To prevent you from acting out in these dreams and hurting yourself, your brain temporarily paralyzes your entire body. This transition is tightly controlled by chemicals that tilt you between sleep and wakefulness. But sometimes you wake up while you're still under the spell of REM paralysis, leaving you stuck. In a sense, wakefulness and the dream world collide. Based on over a decade of research, the theory has been developed to explain how your brain conjures up these compelling images. Instead of epic encounters with otherworldly entities, These visions reflect natural disruptions to your brain's ability to generate a unified sense of self, the feeling we all have of being anchored here and now in our bodies. The man who wrote the article feels firmly grounded, or it says here, I feel firmly grounded in my own flesh and bone and not someone else's body. I feel my arm belongs to me and not you, say. This sense of embodiment arises in the brain. Phenomena like this provides penetrating insights into how your sense of self comes about and how fragile this can be. Sleep paralysis can cause spooky sensations of floating outside your body or gazing down upon yourself from the bedroom ceiling. Now, see, that to me sounds like an out-of-body experience, not
right, exactly.
sleep paralysis. Yeah. Many cultures, like in Egypt and some parts of Italy, believe sleep paralysis to be supernatural in nature. Out-of-body experiences are often described as a type of astral travel, where the self leaves the physical body, journeying into a parallel dimension. But out-of-body experiences can be reliably reproduced in the lab. It says they simply disrupt a brain region called the temporal parietal junction in the parietal lobes, or the top middle part. This area helps you build your body image and is important for your ability to distinguish between self and other. Normally, it is turned off during REM sleep, which is why your sense of self is loosened up during dreams. You can see yourself from a third-person perspective, like a Netflix movie, yet other times you've catapulted into another person's body. But more horrifying than becoming a ghost is encountering one, such as Derek did. According to the research, around 40% of all sleep paralysis experiencers report hallucinating during the episode. These often include seeing terrifying ghosts. The shadow-like creatures typically lurk in the corner of the bedroom, slowly approaching in on the sleeper before violently choking and suffocating him or crushing the chest. Sleepers even report being sexually molested by a demonic figure. The man who wrote this article has a colleague, V.S. Ramachandran, and he's argued with this colleague that these vivid visions actually result from straightforward brain mechanisms. During sleep paralysis, disturbances to your sense of self or body images can occur. This idea was partially sparked by the observation that people who are born with a missing arm can experience phantom limbs, that is, feel a powerful presence of their missing arm. Research on phantom limbs suggests we all have a hardwired body map in our brain. Put simply, when a person born with no arm experiences a phantom arm, they're feeling the presence of an arm that is part of their internal body template. This map may be wired up with an emotional and visual center in your brain, dictating your innate attraction to the human shape, and not, say, to the form of a cat or horse, at least for most of us, it says. When you realize that you're paralyzed, the motor cortex in your brain, involved in initiating movement, fires signals to the body to move or escape the paralysis. It also sends additional messages to the parietal lobes, just like emails when we copy an additional recipient. This brain area monitors the neurons firing signals to move, but it isn't detecting any actual movement in your limbs, which are temporarily paralyzed. Such mismatching messages impact how your brain generates your sense of self. Hungry for input from your body, your brain will attempt to clear the confusion by constructing your body image for you. Fill in the blank, sort of like Google autocomplete. This can lead to eerie hallucinations, like seeing yourself rotating in the air like a tornado or sinking into bed as if drowning in quicksand. Or your body may project out there in space and you have an out-of-body experience. In other words, the brain is a prediction machine, always in the business of generating internal models of the world and what your body might be up to next, and will try to live up to those expectations. See, I don't know. As I read this article, I don't know that I agree with this.
Mm-hmm.
But I get what he's saying.
Right.
He goes on to say, during REM sleep, there's no feedback from your body, and front brain regions are sluggish. In effect, neurons that help you distinguish between yourself and others become too active, causing the barrier between self and others to dissolve, just like during dreams. Accordingly, merely imagining a virtual body may manifest as a literal or hallucinated body with agency and intentions. He also says your brain is a statistical machine and master storyteller. It's prone to linking events around you. So paralysis, crushing chest pressure, and choking sensations, unfortunate remnants of REM sleep, can be conveniently spun into a coherent story. So your brain goes, what is the chance of these events to co-occur by random chance? Probably zero. Therefore, a bedroom intruder is to blame. At this point, your brain will pull from memory regions to complete the narrative of I'm pinned down and strangled by a ghost sitting on my chest. Seeing is not a passive activity of your brain, receiving signals from the outside world, but also happening from the inside out, your brain's best guess of what is out there. He also goes on with a third thing, that neurochemical fluctuations in your brain may create just the right environment for these ghostly visions. He's saying serotonin, famous for improving depression, is used by the brain to wake up a sleeping person. But during sleep paralysis, massive invasion of wakefulness into REM sleep could instead flood your brain with this chemical substance. This may titillate the so-called serotonin 2A receptor, which is a doorway through which serotonin talks with the brain. The receptor is also excited by psychedelic drugs like LSD and psilocybin, causing mystical experiences. Intensely tickling this receptor is known to make you prone to ascribe meaning to otherwise meaningless things and trigger irresistible fear. It creates the right chemical cocktail for ghosts to flourish, turning a physiological experience like sleep paralysis into a chilling supernatural encounter. He says, finally, it has remained a grand mystery why people tend to see faceless shadow creatures or silhouettes during sleep paralysis. This surely adds to the mystery of the experience, and it's difficult to defend yourself against an elusive shape-shifting demon. As the saying goes, men fear most that which they cannot see. It leaves room for imagination to run amok. So he asks, why is that the case? Well, he proposes that we can thank the lazy nature of our visual system for these faceless shadow monsters. He's saying that one of the most important principles in vision is that it tries to get away with as little processing as it can to get the job done. It's always the business of taking shortcuts. Okay, I'm going to stop the article right there. It goes on for a little bit more. He does wrap it up by saying ghost visions have undoubtedly puzzled terrified spectators throughout history, but we are now for the first time beginning to explore what may be happening inside the brain when you see a ghost. He's trying to explain it away with a bunch of different scientific things that could be happening all at the same time.
How about it's just a ghost and you're having a paranormal experience?
Well, the one thing that raises red flags for me is he's citing something that we've cited before, and lots of people have cited before, is opening up the brain to a supernatural experience. And that is a part of the brain that brings in psilocybin, which causes hallucination, so-called hallucination, but is also supposed to open you up to a supernatural experience. And that's, so to say, well, yeah, but then your brain is opened up to psilocybin and other hallucinogenics. Well, you've just told me that your brain is being flooded by serotonin and psilocybin. So you're then being opened up to a dimensional doorway that could perhaps bring a ghost through.
Now, we've had experiences with Native American ghosts and paralysis. Have you had an experience with paralysis?
Okay, that's weird. Hold on. I don't know what the heck that is. Hold on.
We're having technical difficulties.
All kinds
we're
of
talking about ghosts.
All kinds of things are going off here.
I know.
All right, continue. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
Oh, no, I was saying because we've had experiences with Native American ghosts where I live and paralysis. Have you had a personal experience with paralysis and maybe seeing like how they talk about like the hag sitting on your, chest or a ghost or, something?
I've never had sleep paralysis.
Okay.
But the day is young. No, not sleep paralysis. I've had things wake me out of a sleep, and I've woke up and seen things, but I've never been
paralyzed.
Right.
Okay.
But keep in mind too that I have all kinds of injuries and stuff. So when I wake up, I don't exactly wake up spry. I don't jump out of bed. When I wake up, I've got a lot of different injuries and stuff. So it takes me a minute to get out of bed. So I wouldn't necessarily be jumping out of bed anyways, or wanting to, the first thing I do is I wake up, I look at the ceiling, and I go, do I still hurt? And I go, yep, I'm alive. But I don't move anything right away.
Right.
So, yeah. Yeah. Interesting article. I'm sorry. What was the point you were going with that?
No, I was just asking if you had a personal experience with paralysis, since we're talking about it, sleep paralysis, where you saw something.
Yeah, I haven't. But then again, I've never, we were talking about psilocybin, and psilocybin is essentially like LSD. Bruiser and I have been talking about the whole ayahuasca thing. There's a guy by the name of Steve Huff, who is in North Carolina, who passed away recently, or Kentucky. And I was thinking about sending him down to Steve Huff. He had a program on Vice, and I think it was called Kentucky. I forget what the name of the program is. You can see it on Vice.com. There's like 10 episodes on there. It's not Kentucky Medicine. I don't remember what the name of it was called. Well, you can find it on Vice.com. And he claims to heal people of their PTSD, of their in a matter of 3 days, like a 3-day camp, when they come in, by using what he calls Kentucky. I think it's like Kentucky Medicine or something like that.
Okay.
And by connecting them with what he calls Mother Aya, which is supposed to be a spirit that comes from the medicine. Now, I've never been a huge fan of the idea of consuming what most people would call a poison, or ayahuasca, and then throwing up and shitting yourself for 3 days and making that connection. But people claim to be changed once they consume this. They feel like they get closer to whatever that spirit is of the universe, whether you want to call it God or Mother Earth, or whatever it is that your Mother Aya, whatever it is you're contacting. I find it fascinating. Would I try it if I were given the opportunity? I might, because I think it might potentially open up some things. But
is it going to open up something that you don't want it to be open? Like, you're going to be like, done. Can we close this up?
See, that's the thing. Once you take it, you've opened that door, and that door isn't able to close. That's the thing too, I think, with, when we talk about psychic training, once you open that door, you can't close that door again. So you have to wonder, when you have sleep paralysis and continue to have sleep paralysis, can you close that door? I mean, once you have an episode like that, and like this scientist is saying, your brain has accessed areas of serotonin and psilocybin, are you now opening an area of your brain that, or opening an area to a spiritual world that you can't close? I don't know. It's an interesting paranormal phenomena that, I don't know. Some people believe you can get rid of sleep paralysis with blessings and prayer and protection. And that it truly is a demonic or negative deal. Other people think it's just a one-time phenomena. I'd be interested to know what Derek thinks.
Yeah.
Why he thinks he had that experience. Does he think that it was actual psychic contact or a message that was meant to be sent to him?
Yeah, I don't know. We just have a lot of weird stuff that happens in our house, but that was his first experience of the sleep paralysis. But he says he was fully awake because he could see the figures, and the one was blocking the light in the window, because it was still, you could see the moonlight and stuff, coming through. But he said he's never been so terrified, because he's seen ghosts in our house before, and he's never been scared. But this one, it made him very uneasy. Like, I don't know if he felt, trying to think, I don't know. It was a different feeling.
Well, let me ask you this: has he ever talked about having a potential past life as a Native American?
No.
Has he ever had a past life regression before?
No. he usually plays it tough. I mean, you know him, he's a firefighter. He's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when these things happen, he doesn't jump the gun. He tries to figure it out. He tries to find the explanation. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But that one, that
I
made him uncomfortable. I don't know if it's because he felt vulnerable because he couldn't move. I don't know. That's
probably part of it.
Yeah.
Part of it was the vulnerability of being tied down. He probably felt like, that's a scary position to be in. I'll tell you, Mel, when I woke up on the operating table and you're shackled, first thing you think is got him in pain. The second one is, holy shit, I can't move.
Right.
That's the only time I've been paralyzed. Waking up. But then, when they tell you.
And you probably gave the doctors a good scare as well. Like, holy shit.
Oh, they were mad. They just yelled, don't move. But, but then to see somebody strange in front of you and not know what the intention is. That's the other part, not being able to move and defenseless is one part of the scare. The other part of the scare is you don't know what the intention is of the thing that's in front of you or person that's in front of you. Because you can't defend yourself.
Right.
Yeah. And knowing him and how rational he is, if he can't defend himself, then he can't defend you. He can't defend his household and and he doesn't know how long it's going to happen,
Yeah.
So yeah, I get where he's coming from. At that point, it's just base survival. I suppose he's not thinking, why are they here? What do they want?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on. We'll move on. Let's talk about this woman who is mortified when she buys a portrait or portraits and then discovers the alarming ways that every person in them died. That's a little unnerving. Alarm bells are set to ring for Becky Ann Galantine when the seller of the alluring portraits she was buying offered them for free. That's weird. Then her experience felt like the start of a horror movie. Becky Ann Galantine thought she was simply buying some incredible portraits, but what happened next started to feel like the beginning of a horror movie. The TikTok user drove for 4 hours to get her hands on the artwork and had expected to pay. So alarm bells started ringing when the owner let her have everything for free. Concerned, the 31-year-old quickly turned investigator and discovered the morbid history behind the alluring portraits, as every family member in the paintings had allegedly died in strange and terrifying ways. I did research into the house and found the photos were obtained from a place of tragedy, explained Becky Ann. One of the twins died at 10 months old. The man in the photo died of a heart attack trying to help people who crashed into his porch. Weird. Another family member died by getting hit by a train at 26 years old. It's kind of hard to do, get hit by a train.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It happens more than you think.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. Because I'm always surprised too. But yeah, we have a train that goes through town here.
Huh.
Yep. Yeah.
Really? Weird. So he got hit by a train at 26 years old, the same week his mother died, and his twin contracted pneumonia. Boy, talk about a cursed family.
I was going to say, it sounds like a family curse.
Yeah. Real heavy history and misfortune, Becky Ann went on to say. Becky Ann, who's from West Hartford, Connecticut, described the bizarre find in a video that has racked up almost 250,000 views, explaining how she loves digging out, Mallie, unique vintage items online.
Love it.
And when traveling, she said, when my partner and I travel, we always try to bring something home, but we don't ever buy commercial souvenirs. We look for antiques locally, and that's how I found the listing. The listing advertised 3 framed antique items, a photograph of twin babies in antique clothing, 2 standing gentlemen posed in an early 1900s funeral lithograph. Would you buy a funeral lithograph?
I have funeral pictures, so yes.
Oh, all right.
Old ones that I've gotten from antique stores.
Okay. The lithograph print would have been sold to memorialize the recent deceased and hung up as a memento. The lithograph has a space for a name, but no name was ever added to the lithograph. But it was definitely for a descendant because it was framed and displayed. After spotting the bizarre artwork on Facebook, the ghost hunter messaged the seller to buy the artwork and was stunned when a day later she was offered the paintings for free.
She was lucky because it's expensive. People charge a lot of money to buy these things, these items.
Really?
Oh yeah, like the artwork that I have that's made out of like it's a in memorial of someone that's passed, and it's like a wreath made out of hair and jewelry and things like that, mourning jewelry and stuff. It's expensive.
Did you just say a wreath made out of hair?
Yep. Back in the 1800s, it was very popular in early 1900s to make ornate things with hair of the deceased loved one.
That's not creepy to you?
At first, I had a gag reaction to it, but then as time went on, I refused to collect anything that had hair. But as time went on, I kind of got over it and stuff. But yeah, I have 2 wreaths that are like 2 pieces of artwork that are made out of human hair.
Okay, Hannibal Lecter.
Look it up. And it's expensive, like jewelry, you name it. It's becoming very popular. So she got very lucky.
Wow.
Even photos of like funerals, like black and white photos and stuff, they're a pretty penny.
See, I find that creepy. Pictures taken at funerals to me are creepy.
Yeah. I only like the black and white ones. I don't like anything current, but like Victorian, era, I love. So, but then I collect, mortuary stuff too. So, whatever.
Yeah. No, it's
But I like this girl. I need to become friends with her.
I guess I'll have to see if I can find a number for her. You two can swap items, I guess. She said the items were listed at a reduced price of $75, but when I messaged the seller, he told me they were already sold. The next day, the seller said she had a change of heart and canceled the sale in order to give the items to me for free as long as we could pick them up. They were 4 hours away, but she was willing to drive to meet us halfway. That sounded an alarm. Who drives 2 hours to meet someone for something they're giving away for free? When we met her, we were given the photos along with a vintage copy of the Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology.
Oh,
Damn.
Yeah, a little bonus.
I guess.
Throw that in.
I guess. Becky had her suspicions that the items were haunted and revealed how the anonymous seller dropped her a hint. She added, "We pick up a ton of antiques and always joke that they could be haunted. Usually after a few days pass without activity, we accept that the objects are just old and not haunted." Actually, I sound so shallow when I say this. She's a nice looking gal. I think the two of you would be fast friends. Two good looking women out there looking for creepy
collecting
objects.
Dead stuff.
Yeah, collecting dead stuff, hair wreaths and shit like that. I think it would make a great TV show. That's just me. I think Discovery would buy it as long as you two work cheap. We'll have to get her on the line. The first suspicion was the willingness of the seller to let these objects go and the lengths she was willing to go to bring them to us. She was so kind, but of course, the included Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology made us feel as if she was dropping a hint. The unique story has left social media users stunned. In the video, Becky Ann reveals that the seller gave her a book in addition to the art titled The Encyclopedia of Witchcraft and Demonology. The beginning of every horror movie, said one user. I think so. Someone else added, "We need updates on anything that happens with these, please." "No, not haunted at all," said Wendy, to which Becky Ann replied, "Right? Who gives away antiques for free?" I think Becky Ann missed the point there. I'll just show you here. I think, what do you think? Blonde and brunette, I can see the team up right now.
Oh, she's a cute girl.
See? I can see the two of you together on a TV show. Don't you?
Looks like looks like a Ouija board.
Is she on a Ouija board? Yeah. Yeah, she is. Look it. You two have promo shots already. You could just say, "I'm Mallie Fox from Ghost Bait, Becky Ann, and I think we've got a TV show." All put together. By the way, people, you can't copy this TV show idea. It's copyrighted already. I'm calling copyright.
You're trademarking it right now.
I'm trademarking it right now for the
As
two of
we
you.
speak.
Yep. Trademark Mallie Fox. So there you go. And we'll call it, what will we call it? We can't give that name over there, can we?
No.
No.
Derek says if I'm older and I'm investigating with girls my age, we can call it ghost grannies. If I'm still doing it 20 years from now.
That's actually a pretty good idea. I'm not going to lie. Ghost grannies. Good one, Derek. Good one. Good one. Ghost grannies. Can you imagine that on the AARP channel?
Hey, I'm a member. I just signed up.
Did you? I thought you had to be 55 to get your AARP card.
No, you have to be 50.
Oh, God.
You can get some good deals. I started looking into it. I'm like,
Yeah?
dang. Yeah, I have no shame.
What are you getting now for deals?
Like you can get like really good deals off of flights.
Yeah.
And hotels. Like I was looking at this one hotel and I was getting like $30 off a night.
Really?
Yeah, it all adds up. It's usually like between like 10 to 15% off of like restaurants and like car rentals. I think you get like 35% off, and
Really?
cruises you get like hundreds of dollars off. Yeah.
What hotel chain? Is it like the comfy ones like Hilton? And
I looked up, well, because I was looking at getting a hotel for Sault Ste. Marie, and it's the Ramada downtown, the haunted historic one, the Ojibwa,
Oh, yeah?
I think it's called. I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyway, so I was looking there and it was like $30 off a night.
Really?
Yeah. If you're there
Jeez.
for 4 nights, it's over $100.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Look at that. Good old art.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Well, might have to get me one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Save money on airfare because I was looking up Delta flights, and it was a nice amount of money that I was going to save. And all you do is just enter in your little account number, and that's it. And it takes it off.
I know I got a frequent flyer punch card over there at the University of Minnesota for surgeries now. I'm one surgery away from a free one. So, yeah. I mean, that's pretty good. Yeah. They're pretty expensive surgeries, though.
Oh, I could only imagine.
Yeah, but they're happy to see me over there, and every time I go over there, I get an extra candy out of the candy dish, hard candy. And
On first name basis.
Yeah, I know everybody over there, and we sit and we have our coffee and we laugh and laugh, and they're like, they're gonna poke around in you again. I'm like, I know.
Remember that time when I woke up on the operating table?
Yeah, wasn't that fun?
What a hoot!
I kept you guys around till 12:40 in the morning. Wasn't that fun? They're like, no. Yeah, it's good times. Good times. Hey, speaking of that, what does it mean if your lifeline on your palm is broken? Mallie, I want you to look at your hand real quick and don't slap it into your face like you normally do.
Right.
But just look.
I think I need my glasses for this, though.
Oh, do you? Do you have them? Do you have them nearby?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you a second to grab your glasses.
There we go.
I'm looking at my palm. My lines are disjointed all over the place.
Yeah, but do you use your dominant hand or the other one? Because I'm left-handed, but everyone always says, look at your right hand.
Wait a minute. How does that go? So
Usually they tell you to look at your dominant hand, but I feel like because I live in a right-handed world, it's usually a right hand, but my dominant would be my left because I'm left-handed.
My dominant hand's my right hand.
Yeah, so you're safe. It'll always be your right hand then.
Yeah, this is my pimp hand right here, my right hand.
Gotcha.
By the way, I'm going to go off on a total tangent here for a second. Have you seen on TBS on Wednesday nights at 9:00, they have this power slap program?
No.
They've turned this into a sport. Now, it may be the stupidest concept. Dana White from UFC has done this.
Okay.
This may be the stupidest concept ever, but I can't stop watching it. It's grown men powdering their hand and pimp slapping the shit out of each other. But it's funny. And
right.
There's rules. They line up at a podium like they're going to arm wrestle each other. And they hold onto a pool noodle behind the guy who's going to get slapped, holds onto a pool noodle behind his back, right?
Okay.
And the other guy, he can't leave his feet and he can't shuffle forward, but he has to reach back like he's reaching down to Satan, and he's got to come up with force like he's reaching up to God, and he's got to hit the guy on the side of his cheek, and it leaves a big old.
Why would you do that?
It started over in Europe, I guess. There's like YouTube videos of
oh my goodness,
of guys bitch slapping each other in bars, I guess is how this started. I don't know. Guys got drunk and evidently horny, and there was no women in the bars in Eastern Europe. So they started bitch slapping each other.
Jeez.
But Dana White turns this into a sport. There's a championship belt and everything.
Oh my gosh.
So that's what, and all this from looking at my hand. But Mallie, I can't stop watching this thing.
It's addicting.
And there's a guy who calls himself Slap Jesus.
Does he have a shirt with the name on it?
Yes, he has a Slap Jesus shirt. So, and he's got long hair. He kind of reminds me of, God rest his soul, he kind of reminds me of my cousin Rob, except if Rob would have smoked a whole bunch of crack and weighed only about 110 pounds. But he's got long hair, big long beard. Looks like he smoked way too much crack. He can take a hit and he can give one too. But until he got knocked out in the finals. Spoiler alert, in case you were following.
Yeah, now you're going to get hate mail.
Yeah, in case you were following. I
wasn't done with the series yet.
Yeah, exactly. I was waiting. I was going to binge it all, man. In case you were following Power Slap. But I can't believe that these grown men are all getting together and going, man, I'm doing this to feed my family. Really?
Oh, that's sad.
You're bitch slapping other men to feed your family?
Jeez.
Why don't you just go strip for a living? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, as we talked about yesterday, the OnlyFans, man, they make a lot of money.
That's right. Just go put your wiener on the internet. I mean, because if you're bitch slapping for a living, it's over. Life is over.
So as you're talking, I'm staring at my hand. What line am I supposed to be looking at?
Okay, let's get to the article. I had to go off on Power Slap for a minute. Okay, so as I'm looking at my hand and trying not to baby powder it, what it means if your lifeline on your palm is broken. It doesn't necessarily indicate a near-death experience. Palm reading is the ancient art of identifying destiny and personality traits based on the shape and deepness of lines and other features on a person's hand. Though often dismissed as a pseudoscience akin to phrenology, it's widely practiced all over the world, though some cultures take it more seriously than others. But whether you think your hand lines will determine your fate or you're just in it for some entertainment, it's interesting to learn exactly what they mean, especially when there are inexplicable breaks in something called your lifeline, okay? But don't worry, a break in your lifeline doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to die. Instead, it apparently means that there's some massive shift in your life direction at a particular age. Maybe you're going to move, or a loved one dies. Perhaps you experience an illness or an immense shift in your situation or status. Lifeline breaks can indicate disease, divorce, moving, or even new parenthood. Additionally, feathering or branching of the lifeline can indicate a weaker energy during those periods of a person's life, while a deeper, stronger line is indicative of a better quality of life. And as always, when you look to read your palm, you use your dominant hand.
Okay, so my left hand.
Use your left hand. That's what it gives. Now, you know what? I'm going to look up which one's supposed to be. Oh, okay, there's a link here for your lifeline. So what do the lines on your hand mean? Okay, where is your lifeline? Your lifeline is, okay, there's your fate line, heart line, sun line, lifeline. Okay, so the lifeline goes, it's supposed to be the line that goes around here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I have no lifeline. Jesus Christ, I'm dead. They erased mine in surgery, Mallie. Well, mine kind of disappears.
Yeah.
Is that the, okay, so it goes, it does, it almost like disappears, like right here. Okay, so
My
mine
branch is off, so that's probably my divorce, my first one.
really yours branches off.
A little bit, yeah.
Mine comes down and it gets to about the middle. I don't want to say the middle of my palm, but it circles around because mine goes like this. Mine goes like this, and it gets to about here, and it starts to fade right at the right before the wrist. I don't know. I mean, it goes a good long time.
Right. Well, that's good.
It's faint, but it's faint, and it goes right to about here.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a good long line. I don't know what that means, but no idea. We can look here. Let's see what this article. I pulled up a different article. Let's see what it says under Lifeline. Under Lifeline, reading the life one is simple. The longer the line, the longer the life. If a break appears in the lifeline, it may denote an accident or life-threatening incident at the point of the life, which we just read the other article and said it didn't necessarily mean that. However, some palmists read your lifeline as beginning from the wrist, while others begin from the palm. So if you were reading backwards, if you were reading from the wrist to up towards the middle of your,
it's pretty long.
Mine goes deep. Mine goes in. Does yours go around or wrap around your hand?
Yeah,
yes,
it does.
So does mine. So would that indicate if you started from the bottom of your hand and went around, does it start to fray towards the meat of your hand there? Or does it fray up towards the middle of your hand?
Mine frays more towards the bottom.
Towards the bottom.
It's weirdly. I got a lot of wrinkles or a lot of lines.
I do too. I
probably should get it professionally read rather than me trying to do it myself.
Yeah. I ought to moisturize more. I'm realizing that. And this taurosamide on this diuretic dries me out like you wouldn't believe. I was trying to use a touchscreen the other day, and I was hitting it and hitting it and hitting it and hitting it. The pharmacist looks at me and goes, "It's because you don't have enough moisture in your hands." And I went, "Oh,
you gotta lube up."
Yep, you gotta lube up, son. And I went, "Wait a minute, you're a druggist. You want me to lube up? That means you're gonna shove a suppository in me. That's not right." Anyways, so yeah, that's how you determine your whether the thing and the what and the who and the who and the ha. Did that make any sense?
No.
That's what it means if your lifeline's broken. It just means that maybe you had a bad relationship, or maybe you had
a life-changing event.
Yes, a life-changing. Thank you, Mallie.
You're welcome.
Thank you for clearing up my my spotty journalism there. By the way, Spotty Journalism is the name of our new album coming out this fall. Let's move on, shall we?
Okie doke.
We're going to England. I hope you're packed.
Got it.
You got it. An alleged sea monster is spotted off the coast of Somerset, England, and it may not be Loch Ness, or is it? A strange shape not dissimilar to that typically associated with the Loch Ness Monster was recently sighted in the water. How's this for a name? I think if we ever have to change your name, Mallie, we're going to change it from Mallie Fox to Mallie Purse.
Okay.
This woman somehow got the name of Anna Purse.
Okay.
I don't know. Is that a good name or not?
It flows.
Yeah, it flows.
Anna Purse.
Anna Purse had been enjoying her day out along the shoreline of Clevedon, not Cleveland, but Clevedon, with her 6-year-old daughter at the weekend when she spotted something strange out at sea. The object, she noted, looked an awful lot like Scotland's famous Loch Monster. Myself and my 6-year-old daughter, Grace, were walking along the seafront on Sunday when we were sitting on one of the benches before the pier, she said. The shape was right next to the pier, and I noticed it moving. It moved all the way along the sea in front of us while we were sat there. My daughter, Grace, said it looked like a sea monster. Just the shape of it reminded me of Nessie. Purse said it... I just laugh at her last name, I'm sorry. Purse wasn't the only one to spot the alleged creature that day. Several other visitors to the area also reported seeing something unusual in the water and posted up photographs on social media. Far from being an ocean-dwelling cousin of Nessie, however, the monster is far more likely to have been little more than a piece of driftwood, they're saying, being carried by the tide. I don't know about that.
Or it was a dead body.
There you go. Dead body. I like your thinking.
Thank you.
Even Peirce herself admitted that this was the most likely explanation. She says it was driftwood, of course, but it just looks so unusual. I have a picture here for you, Mallie, so you can see what exactly it is.
Okay.
You tell me. Does this look like driftwood to you?
It looks like Nessie.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, it probably is driftwood, but I mean, it looks like one of those photos that you see of the Loch Ness.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know. I think she didn't want to look strange. I mean, her name's already Anna Peirce. So, but yeah, it looks like a picture of Nessie. Although I can see where she would say it's driftwood. It's right. Hard to tell because of you don't know the distance of where the picture was snapped. So, But yeah. Yes, indeed. Moving along. Do you like different colored foods, Mallie? Burger King comes out with the Black Whopper every once in a while. I know that sounds horribly double entendre. But like dyed foods, green beer, Black Whoppers, do you?
I have a kind of an aversion to it. I'm not too keen on it.
Yeah.
But I'm a really finicky eater. So like textures, colors would probably get to me. Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do it.
Yeah, I am too. When occasionally I can drink half a green beer, but I realize that, it's going to come out the same way Fruity Pebbles do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's something in nature right now that's producing purple honey, and that's North Carolina's bees.
Oh, see, I could handle that. I could do purple honey.
Yeah. The Sandhills of North Carolina is said to be the only place in the world where bees produce purple honey, an incandescent concoction that looks more like alien goo than the sweet nectar we know and love. From the expensive yet bitter, I believe it is a Corbezolo honey, to the meat honey produced by the vulture bees. We featured some of we haven't, but this article did on Oddity Central. They featured some of the more unusual bees and honey throughout the years. However, none of them are as visually striking as the purple honey produced in North Carolina. It sounds like the stuff of legend, something to lure honey and beekeeping aficionados from around the world, but this extremely rare liquid is quite real. Purple honey is said to be sweeter than the amber kind and apparently has some subtle fruit notes as well. And you know what, Mallie, I'm going to show you what a jar of purple honey looks like here. It's actually really cool. Take a look at that.
Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't it?
I could do that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. I wonder how much a jar of this costs. Let's see.
I bet you it's expensive.
Probably. Some photos of purple honey jars recently went viral on Reddit and sparked a heated discussion on whether this unusual looking treat was real or not. But it turns out that the people of North Carolina, or to them, it's less of a curiosity and more of a hard to come by treat. It's hard to get your hands on pink honey, even in North Carolina, but its existence is irrefutable. The color of honey from light yellow to deep amber depends on the type of flower that the nectar comes from. But in the case of purple honey, the cause is yet to be determined. Some swear that it comes from fruits like blueberries or huckleberries, although scientists and beekeepers will tell you that the bees don't have strong enough teeth to bite into the skin of such berries. Others say that the flowers of the kudzu plant produce the unusual colors, while a few are convinced that it's the southern leatherwood. In reality, nobody knows for sure. According to Professor John Ambrose from North Carolina State University, purple honey was not a Prince song. Well, they know that too. But it might be the result of a chemical reaction between the acid in bees' stomachs and aluminum. Apparently, the flowers in coastal North Carolina contain more aluminum than anywhere else, which would explain why this rare honey is only produced in North Carolina. Many of those lucky enough to have tried purple honey claim that it actually tastes purple. How do you know what the taste of purple is?
You know what? I would think a taste of purple would be grape.
Yeah.
Like a grape flavor, but yeah.
They say it has
that a color taste is weird.
Yeah, they say, well, it has a subtle taste of grapes or berries. So yeah, I guess that is the taste of purple. Thank you for for correcting me there, Mal.
I wasn't correcting you.
Well, no, I mean, I jumped the gun there and I'm like, what the hell is the taste of purple? Except for school bus windows, Mallie. I know that tastes like purple.
Hey, those are lickable. Those are good.
That's right. I love licking school bus windows. It's sweet. It's produced by the bees. It says it has a fruity undertone to it. Beekeeper Donald D. said it kind of goes with the unusual character of the honey being purple. It's a fruity flavor that really no one can identify. Purple honey is a rare treat that usually commands a higher price than the amber kind, but with all the attention it's been getting online lately, demand has increased even more, with North Carolina beekeepers reporting orders coming in from all over the world. I've got it on hold, Dee said. I've got a few orders left to fill. I couldn't keep up with the orders there for about 3 or 4 days. I mean, I had to shut the website off so I could get caught up with the orders to make sure I didn't sell more than I had. I wonder how much it's going for.
Right. That sounds like it would be delicious on biscuits.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had a biscuit this morning. I got to tell you, just a side note that nobody cares about but you and I. Intern Yoko came and got me a big breakfast from McDonald's today. And I know people are going, oh my God, you can't be eating that with the heart deal. But she gave me the protein scramble version of the big breakfast. So I had eggs and sausage and I had a hash brown. No flapjacks. That's a joke from yesterday from Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals.
Yep. Yeah.
I had the Florida. Right. I had the Florida stripper version. No flapjacks. So yeah, no pancakes for your boy today. But yeah, I had the protein scramble version of the big breakfast. It was wonderful. But I did have a biscuit. I did get my biscuit today. So I had a little jelly and butter on my biscuit. So
biscuit.
It's wonderful. It was wonderful. We have 2 stories left in, I almost said Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals, in supernatural news today. And I'll tell you this much. Scientists need to leave well enough alone. Purple honey is one thing, Mal. But chicken with dinosaur features, we're done.
Yeah, they need to find something else to do.
That's right. We're done. Scientists need to start doing stuff like, I don't know, playing video games or getting laid, one or the other. They need to start discovering women because this is too much. I'm going to show you a picture in a minute, Mallie, that's going to unnerve you. Actually, a couple pictures. But yeah, finding a mechanism to recreate elements of dinosaur physiology has been a topic of popular interest ever since the idea that birds evolved from dinosaurs emerged in the 19th century, when scientists discovered the fossil of an early bird-like animal called Archaeopteryx. Similar to other fossils who were more recently discovered, the animal had wings and feathers like a dinosaur, which is something I stay up and think about some nights when I can't sleep. However, these early birds didn't look the same as modern ones. In particular, instead of beaks, they had snouts. Like those of dinosaur ancestors. To understand how one changed into the other, Professor Buller's team had been tampering with bad scientist, with the molecular processes that make up a beak in chickens. I wanted to know what the beak was skeletally, functionally, and when this major transformation occurred from a normal vertebrate snout to the very unique structures used in birds, said this Professor Buller, who is sent to us from the devil, evidently. I don't know why they didn't give his full name at the beginning. Oh, that's why, because I skipped over this. It's Bart Anjan Buller of Yale University, who is of the devil, I believe. Yeah. He has to be, Mal. He has to be. Well, oh God. So he wanted to know where the snout became a beak, essentially. While trying to do just that, the team managed to create a chicken embryo with a dinosaur-like snout and palate, similar to that of the small feathered dinosaurs like velociraptors. Damn it.
Yeah, just leave it alone, folks.
Leave it alone. The team started out by trawling through changes in the ways genes are expressed in the embryos of chicken and several other animals, including mice, alligators, emus, turtles, and lizards. Can you imagine Limu Emu from the insurance commercials becoming a dinosaur? That That would be just damn scary, Mallie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Temperamental.
Yeah. Oh, and temperamental at that. Yeah. Trying to push insurance on you and then eating you if you didn't take it. Be terrible. Such a thorough investigation of some of the major animal groups revealed that birds are a unique cluster of genes related to facial development that are lacking in non-beak creatures. When the scientists silenced these genes, the beak structure reverted back to its ancestral state, and so too did the palatal bone in the roof of the mouth, as demonstrated by this image right here, Mallie. This is the image that shows you that these freaks are really dinosaurs.
That's kind of creepy looking.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
God damn it. To achieve this genetic tweak, the team isolated the proteins that would have gone to develop beaks, then using tiny beads coated with inhibiting substances. See, they have to force nature back in order to have
Yeah.
They suppressed those proteins. When the skeleton started to develop inside these eggs, the animals had short, rounded bones instead of elongated fused beaks found in bird skeletons. Although Buller has no plans or ethical approval to hatch the snouted chickens, he believes they would have been able to survive just fine. In other words, let me bring you the dinosaur chickens.
Yeah.
These weren't drastic modifications, Buller explained. They were far less weird than many breeds of chickens developed by chicken hobbyists and breeders. The rest of the animal looked okay, but one needs to think about this carefully from an ethical point of view. How about let's just stop making dinosaur chickens?
Right. When you have to bring ethics into it, it's not a good thing.
No. That's when we stop.
Yeah. Jurassic Park. Hello.
Meanwhile, there's a guy by the name of Jack Horner, little Jack Horner, who's sitting in a corner making chicken sauruses. And it's true. He's another person experimenting with so-called chicken saurus. He's the curator of paleontology at the Museum of the Rockies and a professor at Montana State University. Horner is determined to create a dinosaur chicken mix, which, according to him, will just be a genetically modified chicken. He also admits that creating an elongated tail in a bird embryo may not be too difficult, but whether the adult bird will be able to use it is another question. Predatory non-avian dinosaurs have also had dexterous fingers for grasping prey, so an adult bird might need a lot of muscular and nervous retweaking in order to be able to use these new features. So while a number of scientists have been working in parallel to reveal the secrets of avian evolution, there's still questions to be answered, but you definitely should stay tuned for the next big development in genetics. Here's what little Jack Horner's working on, Mallie. That's what a chickensaurus looks like. Yeah.
That's so wrong.
Isn't that wrong?
Yeah, that's very wrong. No.
Here's what Professor Buller is working on, Mallie. This is what his version of the chicken would have looked like.
That looks like evil.
Isn't that terrifying? It's got
like it could eat your face off.
Yes. How would you like to go to feed the baby chicks and then that thing pulls up and tries to eat out of your hand?
It'll probably eat the baby chicks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's wrong. Leave nature alone.
Leave it alone.
They were extinct for a reason.
That's right. Finally today, by the way, kids, this one is not safe for work, so we're going to give you just a few seconds here to, if you're at work, turn down your listening device or put in your earbuds. If you're around the kids while you're listening to the show with kids, I have no idea. Escort them into a different room, shut them into a closet, do whatever it is you do. Keep them from listening to the naughty stories. And we'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Egypt isn't the only place we're digging stuff up this week, Mal.
Okay.
We are digging up some stuff in Rome. The first Roman dildo has been discovered. It turns out archaeology is fun. Just ask Josh Gates. The first Roman dildo discovery has shocked archaeologists. It's exciting and intriguing, Mallie. I'm wondering what the first archaeologists
I'm wondering why they would be shocked because, I mean, hello, Pompeii.
Right.
They were a bunch of perverts.
Hello, Caligula.
Yeah.
Right? UK archaeologists were flabbergasted and some other things after discovering a 2,000-year-old sewing tool could potentially be The only known life-size dildo? Come on. Right. You can't tell me that while they were out there conquering other countries, the women weren't conquering something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. They detailed the alleged phallic first. Well, it was the only known life-size Roman dildo. I can finish that sentence. Unlike other Romans who couldn't finish. They detailed the alleged phallic first in the journal Antiquity. There's an antique you might want to pick up at the market, Mallie.
That's okay. I'm fine with my dead stuff.
Dr. Rob Collins, an archaeologist at Newcastle University who co-authored a paper, said, I have to confess, part of me thinks this is kind of self-evident that it's a penis.
That's his claim to fame. He found a Roman penis.
I found a Roman wooden penis. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going down in history for this. He put it in the books.
Get it going down in history. We know ancient Romans and Greeks used sexual implements. This object from Vindolanda could be an example of one. Hey, I even cited it, and now they do. The Caligula-esque successory. The name of our next album after the...
You gotta get going on these albums.
I know. Got so much music to write.
Yep.
Was first discovered in 1992 during an excavation at the Roman fort of Vindolanda in Northumberland. The Times of London reported the archaeologists initially classified it was only 6 inches. The 6-inch long cylindrical object.
It was cold.
It was drafty in Rome.
Yeah.
They classified the 6-inch long cylindrical object as an implement for darning. I somehow doubt that. The practice of repairing holes in woven fabric using a needle and thread, which modern scientists suspect was because they had discovered it alongside shoes and other garments. So they found it in the closet. Oh, no, darling, that's for darning. No one would ever put that in any orifice. However, upon further examination, 30 years on, it took them 30 years to figure this out.
Not very smart.
I'll show you a picture of this in a moment. You tell me if you use it for darning. However, upon further examination, 30 years on, researchers believe they might have been wide of the mark. We're talking wide of the mark. Small phallic facsimiles were ubiquitous in ancient Rome, often in mosaics, frescoes, and even pendants worn around the neck as tantric totems. However, hey, you got a dick around your neck. However, researchers believe that this doppelwanger, they're calling it, might have been used for self-pleasuring purposes due to its material and the fact that it's life-size and disembodied, attributes that make it the first of its kind discovered from ancient Rome. The size of the phallus and the fact that it was carved from wood, raises a number of questions. At least put some varnish on that deal. Maybe a little lacquer. Lacquer. It's lacking in something. 6
Your
inches.
fingers got to be getting tired of that button.
Yeah, a little bit. Speaking of fingers getting tired, here's a wood phallus. See what I did there?
Yeah.
That's why this is the not safe for work version now. They said that it was a carved from wood. It raised a number of questions, Collins declared. The case for its sexual use is clear to most observers at first sight. He added, I don't know who entered it into the catalog. Well, somebody entered it somewhere. I'm not going to hit the button. Maybe it was somebody uncomfortable with it or didn't think the Romans would use such silly or do such silly things. In addition, the tool was smooth at both ends, suggesting that it was supposed to be double-headed.
Oh, geez.
May have been used over a period of time. Of course, the phallic facsimile might not have been for literal masturbation. They said Collins wrote that the Romans may have employed it as a suggestive pestle to grind ingredients for culinary or medicinal use. So wait a minute. They were grinding up medicines with it? Hey, grab the dick to grind up some of these herbs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And that the phallic shape may have been chosen to imbue these with good luck. Another possibility, per the paper, was that the wooden willy was was a detachable part of a herm, which is a Roman statue comprised of a person's bust and a pillar leading down to their genitals like an X-rated Pez dispenser. You got any of those in the old collection, Mel?
No, I do not.
Okay. There's none of those hanging around from 1900?
No, we're good.
X-rated Pez dispensers. Okay. I'm just thinking. Maybe there's some of those hanging around over at
probably in Amsterdam. Shop. They have those sex museums.
Yeah, there might be one of those. Frisky Romans would rub it to boost their libido, a la a superstitious baseball player touching their lucky bat before play. I think these guys are stretching. Yeah.
Watch, it was probably something innocent, like it was used for darning, and that's it.
Yeah, it probably was. It was just a darning tool. For one, Collins says he hopes the artifact is an ancient sex toy. That is the most exciting and intriguing possibility, the archaeologists gushed. If that is the case, it would be, to our knowledge, the first Roman dildo that's been encountered from archaeology. And then he danced around the room and he hit a baseball with it. Who knew? In a similarly phallic find in 2015, Polish archaeologists exhumed an 18th century leather sex toy while conducting an excavation at a school for swordsmanship. Phallic symbols all around, Mallie. That's how we end Supernatural News today. So I'm going to show you this picture, Mallie. I told you I'd show you this picture.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, because I want to leave you with a bang today, Mallie. Here's the, you tell me, darning tool or not.
Oh my, that looks painful. It looks like a club.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's no amount of lube that makes that look comfortable. Just saying. Yeah. That looks painful, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you see
if it was used for that? Yeah.
Yeah. That is not. That's got to be something else, doesn't it?
Yeah. Let's hope it was just a tool. Darning tool.
Yeah. So darning. Thank you for clarifying that. It's that is.
Yeah. It's very rough.
Yeah. Can't imagine anybody had a fun time with that. Just saying. Yes, sir, folks. That'll do it for today. Mallie, what you got going on in your world? I know paranormalgirl.com is up, yes?
Uh-huh. I'm about to actually tonight make a cocktail
Ooh.
to post for tomorrow.
Ooh, look forward to that.
I'm going to call it The Devil Made Me Do It.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey.
Little tequila, little cranberry juice, some other stuff.
Nice.
Looks delicious.
Nice. Of course, there's also some really good looking clothing online for both the ladies and the guys up at paranormalgirl.com. Be sure to check that out. Mallie also has some amazing recipes up on paranormalgirl.com. So
thanks. I do love to bake.
Yes, and so you should check out that website. There's always something popping over there at paranormalgirl.com. Check it out. Any other things going on in your world?
That's about it. Working on genealogy.
Oh, yeah.
Having fun with that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Good
that's
deal.
Basically it.
Good deal. Of course, Michigan Paracon going on in August. I believe is it the 20?
It's like the third week, isn't it?
Third
or fourth.
Third or fourth week.
It's 20 something.
Yep. We'll have a link in the description of the show for Michigan Paracon. Get your tickets, folks. They're going fast. And everybody who's anybody is out at that convention this summer. It's always a great time. So Michigan Paracon, we'll have the link for that. My gosh, they're announcing somebody every day now.
I know, right? Just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, bigger and bigger. Mallie, you'll be out there, of course, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Of course.
You'll be out there.
One of my favorite things in the summer.
That's right. And Mallie always has the most interesting booth in the vendor area of the entire deal. You can always look forward to the most colorful, the most interesting booth of the vendor area at Michigan Paracon. It's always Mallie's booth. So be sure to go out and say hi to Mallie. And Mr. Fox is out there as well. So
yes.
Yeah, we just refer to him as Mr. Fox now. So
yeah.
So we'll have a link for Michigan Paracon as well. Me, I think I'm returning to St. Cloud this weekend.
Oh, great.
I think this is my first time in a little over a month since I've been to St. Cloud. So I think you might be able to hear me on KNSI this weekend doing my thing. Slinging.
I'm sure you've been missed.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think my fan club calls into KNSI to say, where's Tim? But KNSIradio.com on Saturday mornings from 7 to 9 Central Time is when you can hear me every other Saturday. I believe it's my weekend this weekend. So call Bob Hughes up and see if they'll let me come back to work.
Very cool.
That's what I'll do. So that'll do it for today. Tomorrow on the show, Carl Abramson will be with us. Of course, we had him on previously talking about Anton LaVey and the Church of Satan. He'll be on tomorrow talking about his new book, Source Magic. So we'll be talking with Carl Abramson and the world of source magic. That'll be tomorrow right here on the best in paranormal programming, Darkness Radio. I want to thank Mallie Fox for being on this week. Mallie, thank you so much for being with us.
Always a pleasure.
And I believe Bruiser will be back next week as he travels the globe, slaying blue oxes and taking on Paul Bunyan, I believe is what he's been doing all week. So we'll have Bruiser back next week as well. So for Mallie Fox, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much, folks, for being with us and for continuing to support the program. We want to thank our sponsor for today, HelloFresh, and want to continue thanking them for their support. So thank you to them. We'll be back tomorrow with more in the best in paranormal podcasting. This is Darkness Radio.